Hi students, now in this lecture we are going to study next possible multiple choice questions on signals and system. So in previous video I posted 20 possible multiple choice questions in this subject. Now the continuation of previous video only, let us enjoy the session. Okay, see the first one, find the Z transform of del of n plus 3. So you have to find out the Z transform here. So the answer will be option A is Z, option B is Z square, option C is 1, option D is Z power cube. So explanation, here first you have to find out the Z transform. Okay, so you know that Z transform definition, that is summation. Z transform definition summation n varies between minus infinite to plus infinite x of n Z to the power of minus n. So here x of n is del of n plus 3 will be given. So del of, I substitute here summation, here it will be given del of n plus 3 into Z to the power of minus n. Okay, so your answer become Z cube. Your answer become Z cube. So answer will be Z power 3. Okay, Z power 3. So given term is del of n plus 1. You know the definition of this one. Del of n plus 3, which is equal to 1 for n equal to minus 3. The condition, you have to find out the condition. Okay, del of n plus 3 when the condition is said to be 1 means, okay, when n equal to 0, your answer become 1. Otherwise it is 0. Otherwise it is 0. Okay, so it satisfies this condition only at these cases. When you substitute this limit here, summation del of n plus 3 into Z power minus n. Okay, so here n varies between minus infinite to plus infinite. Okay, so your answer became Z to the power of minus 3. Z to the power of minus 3, plus 3. So option D is the correct one. Okay, so next question, for a right-handed signals, sequence, the ROC in entire Z plane, option B, A true, option B false. So true or false statement questions. So for right-handed signals, the ROC is entire Z plane. They are asking the ROC is entire Z plane. Yeah, is of course false only. Okay, because if x of n is a finite duration, the causal signals, finite duration is causal signal is nothing but right-sided sequence. So right-sided sequence we call it as causal. Now your x of z, it converges for all values of z, it except at z equal to 0. So already we discussed these questions in 2 more problems. Okay, so wherever you solve the problems in z transform, okay, in final statement you can able to analyze your problems based on ROC concept also. Okay, then only you can able to understand this kind of questions, right? So be cautious that wherever you solve the Z transform problem, at the end of the problem you show the ROC plane also. Okay, so hence the ROC is entire Z plane except at Z equal to 0. So because the ROC is entire Z plane will be given. So ROC is entire Z plane, but except Z equal to 0 is not given. So condition is false. Next question, convolution of step signal is 49 times. That is 49 convolution operation will be performed. So Laplace transform is what? Convolution of step signal is 49 times. That is 49 convolution is performed. So Laplace transform is what? So 1 by s to the power of 49. Option B is 1 by s power 50. Option C 1 or s power 49. So 1 by s power 49 is the correct one. Okay, option A is the correct one because n times operation is performed. U of t star, U of t star, U of t star, U of t. So this is n time convolution is performed. When you take the Laplace transform for this above function, you can get 1 by s power n, where n is the convolution operation. Okay, so here there will be some mistake here. So 1 by s power n. Okay, 1 by s power n. So here where n is the number of convolution operation. So your Laplace transform is 49 convolution. To perform the 49 convolution means 1 by s power 49 convolution is the answer. So answer option A is the correct answer for you. Okay, option A is the correct answer. So next we will move on to next question. The Z transform. Okay, the Z transform for del of n minus m. Del of n minus m. Option A is z power minus n. Option B is z to the power of minus m. Option C slash fraction of 1 by z power minus n. Then slash fraction of 1 by z power minus m. Okay, our answer will be B, that is z power minus m. This is time shifting property. No, you know that property is the transform property. Del of n minus m, which is equal to z power minus m. Okay, because delayed impulse functions, which is delayed by m units. So del of n minus m means we call it as delayed impulse function. So delayed impulse function means delayed by m units. So when you take the z transform as a delayed function, we can get z minus m times of z transform function of f of n. So the z transform del of n minus m is z power minus m. Now your function, delayed function is m times. M units will be delayed here. So z to the power of minus m is the correct answer. Am I clear? Next question. Impulse function is the output of dash system due to impulse input applied at a time equal to 0. Option A linear, option B time varying, option C time invariant, option D linear and time invariant. So here the answer is D. LTI system is the correct one, because impulse response of output LTI system due to impulse input applied at time equal to 0 or n equal to 0. Okay, your impulse response of output of the LTI system is due to the impulse input is applied at a time t equal to 0 and or n equal to 0. So behavior of the LTI system is characterized by impulse response. So LTI system is the correct answer one. Okay, LTI system is only performed at t equal to 0 and n equal to 0. Next question. Find the convolution sum of x of n equal to 1, 2, 3 and x of square of n equal to 2, 1, 4. So answer will be 2, 5, 12, 11, 2. Option B is 2, 12, 5, 11, 12. Option D, C is 2, 11, 5, 12, 12. Option D is minus 2, 5, minus 12, 11, 12. So x1 of n will be given, x2 of n will be also given. So okay, let us check the answer. x1 of n is del of n plus 2 times del of n minus 1 plus 3 times del of n minus 3. So it will be writing like this. Next, x2 of n is 2 times del of n, 1 times del of n minus 1 and 4 times del of n minus 2. Okay, here sequence will be repeated. I am writing this function as an impulse function. Along with impulse function, you have to write down like this only. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, the coefficient will be given in the sequence, but I will be writing multiply with the impulse function. So 1 into del of n, 2 times del of delayed function n minus 1, 3 times delay of n minus 2. Okay, del of n minus 0, you keep writing like this. Okay, del first term is n minus 0, second term is n minus 1, third term is multiply with n minus 2, fourth term is multiply with n minus 3, fifth term is multiply with n minus 4, like this. Now the convolution operation is x1 of n star x2 of n. So it performed by the convolution operation x1 of n and x2 of n. So your sequence will be here. What do you get? Performed multiplication operation. No. So 1 into 2, 2. Okay. Next 5. Then 12. Then 11. Then 12. Because here length is 3 will be given. Here 3 will be given. So 3 plus 3. Okay. I will show you this answer here. No problem. Don't worry. Here length. Here length L equal to 3. Here length for x2 of n, which is equal to 1, 2, 3. This is also 3. So find out the length of the output sequence, convolution operation. So formula is L plus M minus 1. So 3 plus 3, 3 plus 3, then minus 1. So 3 plus 3, 6, 6 minus 1, 5. So definitely your answer length is 5. So just count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all these equals are 5 only. Okay, no problem. Let us check. Okay, so convolution operation, I performed the convolution operation here. This is also one of the answer problem, or you may take down the tabulation method. Okay, tabulation method here. I'll take down x1 of n, x1 of n. Here I will choose x2 of n. Okay, here x1 of n. So x1 of n is 1, 2, 3 will be given. x2 of n is 2, 1, 4. So now let us check the answer. 1 into 2, 2. 1 into 1, 1. 1 into 4, 4. Now I take this value and multiply with all the values, above values. 2 into 2, 4. 2 into 1, 2. Next 2 into 4, 8. Next third value. So 3 into 2, 6. 1 into 3, 3. 4 3s are 12. Now I split up like this. Okay, diagonal elements. Okay, equal diagonal. So split like this. Equal diagonal elements. Okay. So now first answer will be 2. Okay. So for you get the 2. 4 plus 1. Second box is contains 4 1. So 4 plus 1, 5. Okay. Next one is 6 plus 2, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. So third result will be 12. Next fourth one is 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. So I will get this answer. Next last one is 12. So I will get this answer. So it satisfies the option A is the correct one. Okay. Let us, for any convolution sum will be given, you just apply this linear tabulation method. It's easiest for you. Okay. Next, we move on to the next question. The time system which operates the continuous time signal and it produces the output continuous time output signal. Okay. So continuous time system, the any system, it will operate with the time continuous time and it produce the continuous time. So what kind of system this one? Okay. Second, first one is option A is CTF system. Option B is DTF system. Option C is time invariant system. Option D is time variant system. Our system, it will take continuous time and it will produce the continuous time. So definitely it is the continuous time system. So option A is the correct one, because option B is it will be operated on discrete time signal. On the other hand, time invariant system, here your output is does not depend explicitly. Your output doesn't depend explicitly on time. Okay, that is also second case also false. Third case is a time variant. No, so for continuous system only, the input as well as output both are CT. So definition itself you should understand what is the answer for this one. Continuous time system, CTF system. Next question. Discrete time signal is said to be even or symmetric, odd or antisymmetric. So if x of minus n which is equal to, so even symmetric, you know that condition when the signal is said to be even. Okay, so your even signal is x of n which is equal to x of minus n, x of n which is equal to x of minus n. So this kind of system we call it as even system or symmetric signal. Odd symmetric means x of n which is equal to minus of x of minus n. This is odd symmetric or anti-symmetric. Now your question is see even symmetric cases, no? So x of minus n is equal to x of n. So option A is the correct one. Okay. Still if you get confused means I'll draw here x of n signal is n versus x of n. Okay, n versus x of n. So this is x of n, amplitude level is 1. Okay, x of minus n means opposite direction. Okay, so this is x of minus n, this one is x of n. So it will satisfy this condition. I will show the second diagram. Okay, same diagram only. So here n. First I will draw this one is x of n. Okay, I'll draw x of minus n. If we draw x of minus n, I will draw it left hand side pen. but here I put amplitude is minus. So minus only it will comes under the graph. Okay, so this is x of minus here. Am I clear? Right. So this case is symmetric case. This one is anti-symmetric case, non-symmetric case. Right. So next we move on to next question. Nyquist frequency. Nyquist frequency of the signal x of t, which is equal to 3 cos 50 pi t plus 10 sin 30 pi t minus cos of 100 t. So one lengthy signal will be given. You have to find out the Nyquist frequency. Nyquist frequency. Let us solve the problem. No problem. Option A is 50 Hz will be given. Option B 100 Hz will be given. C is 200 Hz. Then option D is 300 Hz. So your answer is 300 Hz. Okay, let us check how it will happen. We come that Nyquist frequency is twice the maximum frequency. You know the definition. Nyquist frequency is nothing but twice the maximum frequency. That is Fs, which is equal to 2 times Fr. Okay, exactly equal to 2Fm. Fs greater than or equal to Fm means sampling. Fs less than 2Fm means aliasing. Am I clear? Right. So Fs equal to 2Fm. This is Nyquist frequency. So the maximum frequency present in the signal is omega m. So you have to find out the maximum frequency in this signal. So here maximum frequency is 300 pi t. So this is the maximum. Okay, you choose this one omega m, which is equal to 300 pi. Okay. The next one is frequency. Fs equal to Fm. No. So from this I find out the Fm value. Okay, omega, which is equal to see, I will show here. Omega m, which is equal to 300 pi. This is the maximum frequency. I'll choose this maximum frequency from your given signal, isn't it? So 300 pi t. So omega m, which is equal to, you can written as 2 pi Fm. Omega can be written as 2 pi Fm. So which is equal to 300 pi. 300 pi. Okay. Now this pi and pi will be cancelled out. So therefore Fm, which is equal to 300 by 2. Fm, which is equal to 300 by 2 is nothing but 150. So frequency is 150 Hertz. So here I write down 150 Hertz. Okay, therefore Nyquist frequency Fs equal to Fm, exactly equal to Fm. So answer will be 300. Okay, so 300 Fs equal to Fm because Fm is 150. So 150 is multiplied with the 2. So answer becomes 300. Don't put here 150 Hertz. Okay, so because sampling frequency is exactly equal to 2 times Fm. So first you have to find out Fm value and you will multiply with 2, you can get the answer. That is 300 Hertz. Am I clear? Right? So next question, what are the Dirichlet's condition? What are Dirichlet's condition? So in Fourier series, studied this topic. Okay, possible Dirichlet's condition. So here the answer will be option A is continuous record for Fourier series to diverge. Option B is continuous record for Fourier series to converges if continuous. Then option C is conditions required for Fourier series to converge. Option D is condition required for Fourier series to diverge if continuous. So let us check this answer. B and D are more or less similar, but there is a difference here. One is converges if continuous, and the last one is diverge if continuous. Okay, let us check the answer. Dirichlet's conditions are the conditions required for Fourier series to converge. Okay, so why we need Dirichlet's condition means that these conditions are required for our Fourier series to converge. Okay, so first thing is you should know this concept. Okay, so Dirichlet's condition satisfy for when the Fourier series is to be converged. So let us see where the Fourier series is converges. Option A is not there. Option B is there. So you take this one. Option C is also converge. Okay. Option D is diverges. So B and C will be the more or less suitable for this question. Okay. Let us check which one is correct. B, either B or C. Okay. But there are certain conditions that a signal must possess for its Fourier series to converges at all points where the signal is continuous. Because your signal it will converges at all points. If all points means definitely it will come at the continuous time only. Okay. So option B is the correct one. So the condition is required for Fourier series to converge if continuous. So option B is the correct answer. Next question. Which among the following is not linear system? Okay, this is the 2 mark problem for you. Y of n equal to c into x of 2n plus 2d. Option B is y of t equal to integral 0 to t x of omega into with respect to d omega. So I put d omega. Then y of t equal 2 times y of t equal 3 times x of t. Then y of n equal to x of n into cos omega n. Okay, let us check. Is not linear system. So here the question is not linear, not linear. So you know that linear means if it is obey the superposition, we call it linear. If it is not obey the superposition, we call it not linear. Let us check. Explanation for this problem. Option A is the correct one. Okay, let us check. Here is the explanation. So a linear system is one which follows the superposition principle. Superposition principle means weighted sum of output is the linear function of weighted sum of the input. Okay, this is also 2 mark question. Weighted sum of the output is the linear combination of weighted sum of the input. Okay, so this is when it satisfies this condition, we call it as linear system. Okay, so anybody asks what is superposition principle means, you just tell me the weighted sum of output is the linear combination of weighted sum of input. That's it. Okay, let us check one by one. Y of n equal to c into x of 2n plus 2d. Here, I decimate into 2 components. Our given signal is decimated into 2 types of signal. X of n can be decimated into x1 and x2. Similarly, y of n can be decimated into y1 of n and y2 of n. Let us check the answer. For input x1 of n and y1 of n, y1 of n equal to c into x1 of 2n plus 2d. Okay, I just substitute x of n can be replaced by x1. Similarly, for x2 of n, y2 of n equal to c into x2 of 2 times n plus 2d. Okay. Now multiply the first expression with the a and the second expression with the b, because I just giving the weightage to the your signal. So now what do we get? A into y1 of n, then plus b into y2 of n equal to first operation is the expression is multiply with the a. So a into c x1 of 2n plus 2 into ad. Similarly, for second operation, b into bc cx2 of 2n plus b into 2d. Okay, now I add these two on. Okay, then now the weighted sum of the input, that is y3. y3 of n which is equal to weighted sum of the input. It means I just combine this input. C into first option, C into weighted is a. Okay, so C, I will take down C as a common outside because a into x1 of 2n plus b into x2 of 2n. Okay, I just bring this c outside. So c plus here also 2d, here also 2d, 2d. Combination of these two. Okay, weighted sum of the input. So now clearly check the weighted sum of the input is not equal to weighted sum of the output. These two equations are not equal. So the given system is said to be non-linear. Okay, option A is satisfied. You tick down. But anyhow, you have to check the other 3 cases also. Okay, see B1 y of t equal to integral 0 to t x of omega d omega. First you have to take y1 of t for input x1 of t, y1 of t which is equal to integral 0 to t x1 of omega into d omega. For input x2 of t, that is y2 of t can be written as 0 to t x2 of omega into d omega. First weighted sum of output. Weighted sum of output means multiplication of a and b. Okay, then a into y1 of t plus b into y2 of t. You add, then you add these two expressions. So you can get a into integral 0 to t x1 of omega d omega plus b into x2 of t integral x2 of omega into d omega. This is take this equation number 1. Second one is weighted sum of input. That is, you can take the output is y3 of t which is equal to integral of both are same, same equation only. So a into x1 of omega plus b into x2 of omega. So it comes under the integration inside the integration term with respect to d omega. So clearly you can see the difference here. So both are same only. When you split up this integral into 2 terms, so these two equations will be equal. So the given signal is said to be linear. So B is not correct one. Similarly for C and D also, you have to check the C and D. These two also said to be linear only. So only the thing option A is said to be non-linear. It's not satisfy the superposition. So answer A is the correct answer. Okay, am I clear? Next, we move on to the next question. Which one of the following is an example of a bounded signal? Option A, e to the power of t cos omega t. Option B, e to the power of t sin omega of minus t. Option C, e to the power of minus t cos of omega t. Option D, e to the power of t cos of omega minus t. So which one is correct answer? Because here the question will be bounded signal. Bounded means you know the Debye concept, isn't it? Bounded signal. So bounded signal is the one which satisfies this condition, mod of x of t less than m less than infinite for all t. When it satisfies this condition, the given signal is said to be bounded. Okay, you just note it down this condition. Mod of x of t, m lies between x of mod of x of t to t for all t. So clearly the signal, third signal, e to the power of t cos omega t, e to the power, first signal e to the power of t cos omega t, second signal e to the power of t sin omega of minus t, and third last signal e to the power of t cos omega of minus t are exponential signal. Look at the signal. Signal is are exponentially growing signal. Okay, here also e power t, here also e power t, here also e power t. So all these three signals are exponentially growing, that is rising exponential. So growing signal as the power of the function is positive only. So that is the signal will be grow beyond the infinite. Positive means what? It will grow up to the beyond the infinite. It's not we can't predict it is comes under within the limit, within the bounded, because rising exponential. So rising exponential is your power value, your signal value is to be grow, grow and grow beyond the infinite. But the third signal, look at this third case, e to the power of minus t is multiplied with cos omega t. So here the exponential is gradually decreasing. It means decaying exponential. So decaying exponential means hence it will decay to the zero value. Once it will come to one position, and it will always be less than the infinite only. Not it goes into crosses the infinite. It's always less than the infinite only. So the given signal is said to be bounded. Am I clear? How the system is said to be bounded? If any signal will be given, this is the condition. So here our mod of x of t less than m less than infinite. Your signal is your output will be less than the infinite. Okay, so that is the case. So decaying exponential only, your answer will be you can predict your signal, or all the signals will comes under decaying exponential term. But remaining all the terms are you can't predict it because it goes beyond the infinite. Okay, so option C is the correct answer. Next question. When x of t is said to be non-periodic signal, when x of t is said to be non-periodic, you know the periodic condition as well as non-periodic condition, isn't it? X of t equal to x of t plus capital T is periodic. Okay, x of for all values of t. Once it satisfies this condition, we got is periodic. But here the question is non-periodic. Let us check the answer. If the equation x of t equal to x of t plus t is satisfied for all values of t, yeah, is true only. That is periodic case. Okay, option A is not there. Option B, look at the option B. If x of t equal to x of t plus t is satisfied for only one value of t, yeah, this is also satisfied. Third case, x of t equal to x of t plus t is satisfied for no values of t. Definitely it's not satisfied. Okay, so it is non-periodic. Let us take one more also. X of t plus t is satisfied for only odd values of t. Yeah, this is also a case. This case is also satisfied. Periodic cases only. Okay, so option C is the it's not satisfied for periodic case. It is satisfied for non-periodic case. So given signal is said to be non-periodic. Option C is the correct answer. Okay, because it satisfies the equation for all the values. T equal to t naught plus 2 times t naught plus 3 times t naught, it's etc. It will be going like this. Okay, so option C is the correct one. Next question. How is the discrete time impulse function is defined in terms of the step function? How? Because option A is d of n equal to u of n plus 1 minus u of n. Option B is d of n equal to u of n minus u of n minus 2. Option C is d of n equal to u of n minus u of n minus 1. Option D is u of n d of n which is equal to u of n plus 1 minus of u of n minus 1. So which one will be correct? Option C is the correct answer, because here using this definition of Heaviside function. So this function is nothing but Heaviside function. Okay, we can come to this conclusion. Heaviside function. So option C is the correct one, because discrete time impulse functions is defined in terms of step function. So u of n minus u of n minus 1 is the impulse function. Let us draw the diagram also. Okay, no problem. Let us check this answer. Okay, so u of n is unit step signal. So your answer will be drawing sketch will be coming like this, etc. N versus u of n. Okay, so here your amplitude level is 1. Second case, u of n minus 1. This is n equal to 0, 1, 2, up to infinite. So here n equal to 0, here n, here u of n minus 1. U of n minus 1. For this question, with the help of the diagram only, you can able to answer this question. Okay, n minus 1 means at n equal to 0, 1, 2, infinite. So here your signal is start at n equal to 1. Okay, am I clear? Up to s, etc. infinite. So here also amplitude 1. Now you subtract these two answer. You subtract these two answer. So you can get here n. Okay, here d of n. Okay, at n equal to 0, 1, 2, infinite. So subtract this one up to these two cases, and this and all cancel out. Okay, only you can get impulse function at n equal to 0. So d of n equal to 1. Okay, this is nothing but impulse signal. So how the discrete time signal impulse signal is defined in terms of step function? In terms of the step function, when I separate step signal minus delayed signal, delayed step signal, you can get the impulse function. Am I clear? So option C is the correct answer. Likewise, you have to check the remaining possible cases. Definitely you can't get the impulse. Okay, you can get some other signal, right? You can do it. Okay, let's move into the next problem. Given x of t equal to 2 plus e to the power of minus 3t into u of t, into u of t. So the final value of x of t is dash. So this is initial and the final value theorem. Okay, so final value theorem. X of t will be given. We have to find the final value of x of t. So let us check the answer. Option A is 2, option B is 3, option C is e to the power of minus 3, t, D is 0. Okay, let us check. X of t will be 2 plus e to the power of minus 3, t into u of t. This is question. Applying the final value theorem. So you know the final value theorem. So limit t tends to infinite integral x of t, which is equal to, here you put the integration term. Okay, because it is Laplace transform, so I put here integral. Limit t tends to infinite integral x of t, which is equal limit s tends to 0 s into x of s. So this is a final value theorem. Okay, according to the final value theorem, when right hand side limit s tends to 0 s into x of s. So here x of s is 2 plus 3 times e power minus 3t, right? When you substitute here, you can get the answer is s into 1 times s plus 1s plus 3. So limit s tends to 0, I substitute here 2s plus 3s plus 3. Okay, so your answer became 2. 2 is the answer for you. Okay, so this is the answer for fifth question. So because, so remaining and all, it becomes 0. Okay, so when you apply the Laplace transform, remaining all becomes 0. You can get only the answer is 2, because 2 is the constant one, right? So next we move on to the next problem. Find the Laplace transform. Similarly, for the next problem, find the Laplace transform for signal x of t equal to e to the power of t sin 2t for t less than 0. Okay, the same step will be, we have to follow here, applying the Laplace transform. Okay, let's check the answer. X of t equal to e to the power of t sin 2t for t less than 0. Applying the Laplace transform, x of t equal to x of s, that is integral minus infinite to infinite x of t e power minus st. So in this definition, you have to substitute here. You can get this answer 2 into s minus 1, 2 plus 2 square. So this b will be, you will be getting the b. So applying the definition of Laplace transform, you substitute this x of t value and integration taking the integral value. Final result will be like coming like this. Okay. Next question. Determine the initial value of x of 0 plus for the Laplace transform. So initial value theorem. Previous problems are all final value. Now initial value. So initial value is x of 0 plus, which is equal limit s tends to infinity s into x of s equal to limit s tends to finally means limit value s tends to 0. So in this place you have to put 0, but initially here you put the it tends to infinite. This is the difference between initial value and the final value. So limit s tends to infinite. For s, the question will be 4s square, no, 4s square plus 3s minus 5. So s into 4s square plus 3s minus 5. So this is equal to this one, which is equal to limit x tends to 0. So that is x tends to 0 means here you can get 4x 1, 4 into 1 plus 3x minus 5x square. Okay, that is 4, which is equal to, let s equal to substitute 1 by x. You get this answer. So finally you can get 0 only. Both are equal. So 0 is the correct answer. Next question. Find the Nyquist state and Nyquist interval of the signal f of t equal minus 10 sine 40 pi t cos of 30 300 pi t. Let us check the answer. Nyquist state and Nyquist interval. Already we discussed this kind of problem also. Okay. First you have to find out the maximum frequency. So here maximum frequency is 300. So omega m, which is equal to 300, and omega 2 lowest frequency is 40. That is 40 pi. As we know, the multiplication time domain is equal to convolution frequency domain, isn't it? Multiplication time domain is equal to convolution in frequency domain according to the property. The converged spectra will have the highest frequency. So omega m is equal to omega 1 plus omega 2. I add these two frequency value, 40 plus pi plus 300 pi. So you can get 340 pi. Okay, so 345. Now from this, you have to find out the Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. So Nyquist rate is omega m, which is equal to 340 pi. So 2 pi fm. So f pi and pi will be cancelled out. Now 2 fm, which is equal to 340, right? So Nyquist rate is 340 hertz. Nyquist interval is 1 by 340. You can get 1340 seconds. So 340 into 1340 seconds. So this is the correct answer. Okay, because time domain signal will be given, but here the frequency will be in the hertz. So for that only I will take the property of convolution, that is multiplication in time domain is equal to convolution in frequency domain. Okay, so for that I add these two frequency value. First thing is I add these two frequency value, and this value is equal to frequency value. Okay, convolution and frequency value. So omega m, which is equal to 345. From this I find out this fm value, that is 2 fm, which is equal to 340. So 2 fm is nothing about your Nyquist rate. So Nyquist rate exact value is 340. If you want to find out Nyquist interval, you take the 1 by 2 fm, that is fs value, that is 1340 seconds. Next question, find the z transform of y of n equal to x of n plus 2 into u of n. So let us check the answer. Y of n equal to x of n plus 2 into y of u of n. According to the definition of z transform, summation x of n z power minus n. Okay, that is the definition. You substitute this condition in your definition of z transform, you can get this answer. Z square x of z minus z square x of 0 minus z into x of 1. Okay, you do it here, you can get this answer, right? Similar for second problem also, find infinite if x of z equal to z plus 1 divided by z minus 0.6 whole square. So definitely answer becomes 0. Okay, so according to the definition, final value theorem, x of infinity means final value, x of 0 means initial value. Okay, so once you know the definition of initial value and the final value, you can able to answer the above questions. Okay, so only the initial and final value I will show the 4 to 5 problems here, right? So you do it in your notebook and you solve it, you can get this answer. The final value theorem of Z transform satisfies this condition. X of n tends to x of z, x of infinity tends to limit value z tends to 1, z minus 1 into x of z. Okay, this is final value theorem. So x of infinity equal limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 into x of z, which is equal limit z minus 1, z tends to 1, z minus 1 multiply with the x of z. X of z is here z plus 1 divided by z minus 0.6 whole square. So when you apply this limit value, you can get the 0 only. Okay, so I put here 0. Next question. The inverse Z transform of Z by Z plus 1 whole square is. Okay. First one minus 1 whole power n plus 1, minus 1 whole power n minus 1 into n. Option C is minus 1 whole power n minus 1. Option D minus 1 whole power n plus 1 into n. So which is the correct answer? Option D is the correct answer. Okay. According to the definition of Z transform, substitute here. Okay, Z into Z square plus 2Z plus 1. That is U of Z. Okay, this is the expansion of this term. Okay, when I expand this, substitute this condition in Z transform and expand the Z transform equation. Okay, finally you can get this answer, minus 1 whole power n minus 1 into n. This is the correct answer. Okay, next question. The response of LTS system for d square y of t dt square plus d times y of t dt plus 5 times y of t equal to differentiation of x of t into dt. So given that y of 0 minus value will be given, dx of t dt bar dt at t equal to 0, x of t equal to u of t is. So this is the big question, part B question, right? That is this question comes under the analysis of the LTS system from difference equation. Okay, so option will be given. You just applying the Laplace transform of this equation. Okay, d square y of t. When you apply the Laplace transform, it become s square into y of s minus 2s plus 2s into y of s. Okay, first term. Okay, because I differentiate complete term, right? Then minus 2 into minus 2 plus second term is 5 into y of s equal to, here differentiation is 1. So I expand the summation s square, bring out the y of s commonly outside. So s square plus 2s plus 5 into y of s equal to 3 plus 2s. Okay. So or else y of s equal to, I just move into the other side, can get this one. Expand the summation term. Finally, we got this answer. Okay. You do it in your homework notebook. Next question, for time consumption, I will be moving very fast. How are discrete unit impulse function and discrete time unit step functions are related? Option A, they are inverse of each other, or the dou of n, which is equal to u of n minus u of n minus 1. Integration of unit step function gives unit step function. Answer B is the correct one, because from the definition of u of n and u of n minus 1, which is equal to u of n is, we can write as dou of n plus sigma k equal to 1 to infinite, dou of n minus k, here minus sigma k equal to 1 to infinite. So dou of n minus k. So this is also equal to dou of n. So if it is continuous, dou of t, which is equal to differentiation of u of t by dt. So which one is correct? B is the correct. So B equation will be the satisfied for this answer, because discrete time unit impulse and discrete time unit step functions are related, right? So what are the nodes that are replaced at the adders in the signal flow graph? Okay, what are the nodes? Source nodes or sink nodes or branch nodes or summing node. So for order, you add the summing node. You know that summing node is the node which is used to the signal flow graph, which replace the adder in the structure of filter. Okay, summing node is the answer. Next, if the system is initially relaxed at time n equal to 0 and memory equal to 0, then the response of such state is called as zero state response or zero input response or zero condition response or zero, none of them mentioned. So here the question is zero state response, because the memory of the system is described in some case the state of the system. The output of the system is called zero state response. So here the memory is 0. Okay, so it is zero state response only. Next, for next question, zero state response also known as forced response. Okay, without seeing this answer, we can able to answer it. Okay, zero state response is also known as forced response. Already we discussed, isn't it? The zero state response depends on the nature of the system and input signal. Since the output is response forced upon by its input signal, so it is we call it as forced response. Okay, am I clear? Right. So next question. When a zero input response of the system described by the homogeneous second order equation, if the initial conditions are y of minus 1 will be given, y of minus 2 is also given. Okay, you have to find out this answer. So given explanation, difference equation will be given. Take it as equation number 1. Let us take y of n equal to lambda power n. For our convenience, I will take this like this. So now substitute the condition in equation number 1. Now y of n is become lambda power n minus 3 times lambda power n minus 1 minus 4 into lambda power n minus 2, which is equal to 0. So here in this question, I bring out lambda power n minus 2 is bring out outside. So inside you have lambda square minus 3 lambda minus 4, which is equal to 0. From this you have to find out the lambda value. So the root of this equation is lambda, which is equal to minus 1 comma 4. So therefore general form of the solution of homogeneous equation is YH of n, which is equal to C1 lambda power n plus C2 lambda 2 power n. So this is the general equation, general format. So C1 into lambda 1 is, I substitute here minus 1, first pole, first root, and lambda 2 is pole, I substitute here. Then zero input response of the system can be calculated. First thing is I found out. Okay, general form I found out. Next we move on to zero input response for homogeneity equation solution. So given initial condition will be given, that is y of minus 1 and y of minus 2 will be given. So from the equation number 1, I write down this like this. I substitute y of minus 1 value is 5 and y of minus 2 is 0. So in this equation, I substitute y of minus 2 is 0. Okay, I substitute this equation. So I will get y of 0, which is equal to 3 times y of minus 1 plus 4 times y of minus 2 only. So now y of 1, which is equal to y 3 times y of 0 plus 4 times y of minus 1. So here 3 into, okay, 3 into 3 times y of minus 1 plus 4 into y of minus 2 plus 4 into y of minus 1. I add this to value. So which is equal to 13 y of minus 1 plus 12 y of minus 2. When you expand this, you can get this answer. Next thing is y of 0, C1 plus T2. You add these two values. So y of 1 equal to C1 of minus 1. So equation number 2, I write down this equation number 2 here. So which is equal to minus C1 plus 4 times C2. Now by the equation 2 set of relations, we have first relation is C1 plus C2. I write down here, and which is equal to this answer, that is 3 into y of minus 1 plus 4 into y of minus 2. Okay, I substitute here. So which is equal to 50. And second case is minus C1 plus 4 C2 now. So which is equal to, I substitute this condition here, that is 13 into y of minus 1 plus 12 into y of minus 2. So which is equal to, I expand this, you can get 65. On solving this above two equation, you can get C1 value and C2 value. C1 is minus 1 and C2 is 16. Now I substitute zero input response, y of n, which is equal to minus 1 whole power n plus 1 and 4 into n plus 2. This will be the correct answer only. Okay. So within this, I concluded my topic. Keep on support my channel. If you like this channel, you just hit the like button and share this video to your friends. So thank you, students. Thank you for watching.